Welcome back to the Ingrain Workshop. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to remove a fence post in concrete. So let's get started. So the first thing you're going to need is a 48-inch utility jack. I picked this up on Amazon, and I'll drop a link in the video description below in case you're interested in picking one up. Then I took a couple of scrap 2x4s and used those to make a kind of like a tripod, I guess, or bipod, I guess, to keep the jack stationary while you jack up the fence post, because this will keep the jack from being pulled into the fence post as you're jacking it up. It will keep it vertical and keep the force of the jack pulling the fence post out of the ground. And then I used a 5/8 inch by 8 inch carriage bolt just to secure the 2x4s to the head of the jack. Here you can see the carriage bolt connection at the head of the jack, and then the 2x4s, which I believe are about 60 inches long, and then the 48-inch utility jack. So the 2x4 legs are about 60 inches long. The carriage bolt is a 5/8 inch by 8 inch carriage bolt, and then you just got the 48-inch utility jack, and that's pretty much all you need. You will need probably about 48 inches of chain with 2 chain hooks on the end. That will be used to wrap around the jack and then to wrap around the fence post. So with all this, let's get started and let's start removing some fence posts. I would recommend setting the jack on something more stationary. I'm using just a scrap concrete paver here, but you could use a block, brick, anything that you have, even a 2x4, just to keep the bottom of the jack from digging into the ground as you're jacking up the post. You can see here I've taken the chain, wrapped it around the base of the post, and then connected it to the head of to the jack, and then slowly just start jacking it up. You can actually see right there that the concrete paver actually busted due to the pressure on it. But you can see the 2x4s do brace the jack a little better than if they weren't there at all, and they do keep the jack in a more vertical upright position, allowing the majority of the force to be applied in a vertical fashion, lifting the post directly out of the ground. You do have to be careful. Our fence was really rotted, so you could risk breaking the actual fence post off at the base of the concrete. So just take your time and jack it up as smooth as you can. And as you can see here, it's coming out, out of the ground, the concrete, everything. And once you get it to a point where you pretty much know it's completely out, then you can take and just roll it over and then disconnect the jack and move on to your next post. And this is pretty much real time. I mean, it literally takes 2 to 3 minutes per post to get them out of the ground. And this beats having to bust out the post hole diggers or your shovel and digging them out by hand. This is by far the easiest way to remove fence posts that are in concrete. So this next fence post is an example of one that was just rotted and had broken off. You will have to use a shovel and just dig down to the top of the concrete and then expose a couple of inches of the concrete. And you can see here where we've got the chain wrapped around the top of the concrete. and it's going to be in a cone shaped fashion. So once you get the chain around the top of it, it's not going to go anywhere because it just gets larger as it gets to closer to the top. And then it's the same thing. You just jack it up, and as you can see here, it's coming loose with no problem. And again, this is pretty much real time. It does take you a little bit longer on the ones that are broken off because you do have to kind of dig down with the shovel down at least to the top of the concrete. But all in all, it might take you an extra 5 minutes. But this is by far the only way I would use to remove fence post in concrete. It's effortless, and takes you virtually no time. Like I said, 5 to 10 minutes, depending on if the post is intact or not. And this is the method that I would recommend the most out of all the methods that I've seen, just using a chain and a utility jack. So we'll do one more from start to finish, and you can see Z here, installing the chain on the fence post, and this one will be real time, and I think it ended up taking 5 minutes. She's trying to put the chain on. She didn't quite hook it right, so I am gonna show her the correct way to hook the hook onto the chain. And like I said, this is all going to be real time here, from hooking up the chain to the fence post, and then hooking the chain up to the jack, and then jacking it out of the ground. And you can see I just carry the same brick paver with me from post to post. I believe this is after it had actually cracked and gotten a little bit smaller. But again, the most awkward thing on this whole project is moving the jack from location to location, because with the 2x4s it does make it a little bit cumbersome moving the jack around, and like I said, that was probably the hardest part of the entire fence post removal project, is just moving the jack and the 2x4s from location to location. But once you get it set up, then you'll see that I'll readjust the chain here and then hook it up to the jack. And jacking it up might take a minute or two, and that's pretty much it. I mean, this is the simplest way to do this, and I highly recommend it. And I think we ended up removing a total of 40 posts, and probably half, if not more than half, were just totally rotted. And we had to do the other method by digging out the top, probably 4 to 6 inches of dirt, just to get down to the top couple of inches of the concrete, and then actually wrap the chain around the concrete cone and pull it out that way. But even doing it that way, it's just so much easier than digging these out by hand with either a shovel or post hole diggers. What I would do too is, once I got it jacked up and got the slack out of the chain, and started to applying force to the post, I would sort of slow down a little bit and just take my time and just gradually put pressure on the jack. Again, I was just trying to be very careful not to break off the fence post, because it does add probably another 5 to 10 minutes of work if you have to dig out the top and pull it out by the concrete. But again, still faster than digging out by hand. So you can see here, I'm just taking my time, and then I'm just focused on the jack, and Z's telling me if it's coming out or if she hears the post cracking or whatever. And again, you just take your time and just gradually pull it out, and you'll see it starts to come out once you start breaking the ground and the concrete starts coming out, then it loses the shear friction from the dirt, and it starts to come out fairly easy at that point. And then it's just a matter of just lifting it out of the hole, and you're pretty much done. So, like I said, this has been real time here, and I think it took 5 minutes. And keeping in mind, this is one that the post was intact, didn't require any additional digging, and as you can see here, for all practical purposes, it's out, and I'm just taking it loose from the jack, and then Z and I will just take and swing it out of the hole. And the good thing is we're installing a new fence in the exact same location, so we were able to reuse these holes. So this really worked out perfect for us. So as we removed the post, we just left the holes intact and then installed new posts in the exact same holes. Well, that's going to wrap up the video on how to remove fence posts in concrete. I hope this video helps you out in your project. If it did, please leave it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel and you like DIY projects, then please hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. This is Rick with the Ingrain Workshop. We'll see you next week, and thanks for watching.